Will he be there? He's a farmer, of course he'll be there. He's used to getting up at 6 in the morning. Farmers don't do sleep.
No, they don't. And today was probably a lie-in for him. I think that's a fabulous point, John. Based on these guys and their usual trades away from the hockey, they probably did have a lie-in this morning.
Yep, Wayne up and about, working down in the Ronda as a roofer. Very fit guy for his age, 57 now. Daughter and young son watching on. Scott, 49. Wife Sharon will be tucked away somewhere in the shadows. His daughter Katie here as well. The bookies have got Scott Mitchell as the 7-4 on favourite to win this.
Yeah, I think that's probably based on experience of getting through this stage of the tournament before.
95.
And who he's just defeated.
Wayne was a wee bit jittery, I thought, against Chris Landman, but by goodness, didn't he polish him off in that last set?
Magnificent stuff in that final set, because Landman was coming back at him. It was 4 sets to 3 to Warren, and questions were being asked, and he comes back in a 5-leg set with winning legs of 11, 13 and 13.
Averaging 106.
106 average, .41 in that final set for Wayne. And he was on double 10 on the first leg after 12 as well. Just a fabulous, fabulous set. He's going to need some of that today.
Well, they know each other well. You heard them talking about previous times they've faced each other in internationals, in big competitions. Most recently, it was in the Denmark Masters in 2013 when Scott won it 6-3.
That could be the score today, but in sets.
140.
Well, I think Mitchell justifiably the favourites. That's putting the throw under a little bit of pressure. Wayne Warren won't want to be losing his throw first time out. Won the Antwerp
55.
Open this year. Runner-up in the England Open and the Swedish Open. Wayne Warren, that is.
It's in. So he's thinking maybe 25 to create the 2-dart shot, or maybe the 57.
139.
Well, that's a brilliant visit. 62 left, so had he got the treble 20, he'd have certainly been looking for the bullseye finish. But under pressure,
38.
he now loses the initiative.
62.
An early break. It looks like Scott Mitchell is just picking up where he left off.
So game shot on the first leg. Scott
Great
Mitchell.
first leg.
Second leg is Scott to throw first. Game on.
Scott Mitchell was sweating it up last night on a stage that was very, very hot. Lots of people here on Friday night, but he was up for it. And he didn't complain about anything last night. He looked so focused. And as I said last night, I think he looked as focused as he did when he won this title back in 2015.
100.
Well, I said that was what Wayne Warren certainly didn't want, and on the back foot from the outset.
I'm sure that's something you don't want to do in roofing either. You don't want to be on the back foot up there. I would imagine Wayne sees some beautiful sights being on the roofs of the Ronda. Some beautiful views there, haven't they?
140.
Just over that top wire of the treble. Farmy Army on tour. Good reply.
140.
Yeah, Wayne Warren is going to need some 180s this afternoon. In his previous game, he had 15, which is a great tally for one match. He played 8 sets. I think he might need to up that somehow.
130.
Again from 201, Mitchell scores a very big shot to leave himself on a 2-darter, and Wayne Warren has no answer right now.
Oh, that's not what he needed.
28.
So, 71.
Scott, you require 71.
Treble 13 would leave double 16. Looks as though he's going that way. 18 for tops. For 2-0.
Yes, that's game show on the
Beautifully done. He's getting just the start he wanted, Nico.
Third leg is
I'd love to know what he's saying to himself before that third dart, because the lips were moving. And on a couple of occasions yesterday, he'd scored a treble 20 and a single 20.
40.
And he said to himself 140 and thinking nothing less. But just before he hits that tops there, he said something to himself, and maybe that's part of the sports psychology that Tony O'Shea was referring to at the top.
You'll see last night the
100.
emotion of the moment. Losing his father in the last year, with whom he was so close, Scott Mitchell. And I think if he were to be champion here again
80.
this weekend, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw quite a lot of tears of joy, and also the memory of what was back in 2015, and the man who's been so close to him, of course, throughout his life.
Yeah, absolutely right. You know, there was an outpouring of support for Scott
125.
around that time. As you see that somewhat unfortunate collision for Wayne Warren, and after that he's had another bounce out. But the
81
segment that we saw just before the match, John, we were both saying that was fabulous to watch for both guys. Really, really nice insight.
Just ordinary lads up there with an amazing talent, anything but ordinary.
41.
But it's one of the appealing things about not only BDO darts, PDC darts as well. You know, these are ordinary fellas who just happen to be very good at darts.
Correct. I'm reminded
95.
about my mate Johnny Clayton from West Wales, who is a fabulous plasterer. Better dart player though.
Another one who's a good fella.
85.
Starting to slip a little bit in this third leg, Scott Mitchell. He's had a 43 and an 85, but he's still in control. A dart ahead here. There'll be some statement to win this first set.
45.
3 legs to 0 with 2 breaks of throw.
Scott, you require 150.
Looking up the board, can't finish now.
A lot of the young bucks these days go for 619s and double 18, but
Wayne, you require
Mitchell likes to
160.
persevere on the 60. I don't mind that plan. It's exactly what Wayne needed too. It's coming up dry
60.
too many times.
Scott, you require 90.
So here he comes for 90. 70 required. 20 would leave bullseye. The bullseye opportunity for the opening set. Good line.
60.
Just over pitched it slightly.
Wayne, you require 100.
More of a Yorker as opposed to a length delivery, that one. Now it's tops for Warren to get off the mark.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's going to on the
Top
third
right hand
leg.
corner 60, top left hand corner of the tops.
Bartle settling down. He'll feel as though his match has started now. Scott Mitchell with the darts, looking to serve it out now for the opening set, but at least Wayne Warren is into it, and that'll just calm those butterflies, those big match nerves.
I completely agree with you. Earlier in the tournament we had Denny Alder-Kalter playing against
100.
Mario van der Bachara, and Mario was 11 legs up to 0 because Denny hadn't hit a double. The longer you go without hitting a double, the harder it becomes.
81.
Scott will want to polish this one off right here though.
First dart's been great so far.
85.
Loose shots in the last couple of legs, which he's going to have to polish up, but still got his advantage of throw here. As Wayne's still trying to find his
55.
somewhat usual consistent range on the 60. Hasn't been there yet.
Yeah, he hasn't been scoring particularly well, Wayne Warren. The match really is yet to take off, to my way of looking at it. I think it's got another couple of gears that it'll go to
85.
at some point, as Scott maintains an advantage, 134 ahead.
It's England captain against the former Wales captain, of course. That's a much better visit from Wayne.
More like it, good grouping, better consistency, packed them together. So 231 Mitchell. Trying to just set up a finish. Well, that's not what he required. He wanted rather better than that.
Well, from 231, if you only get a single, 20 to start with, you go 19 and 25, and Warren's had another one fall out the board.
40.
That was very unfortunate, clipping the top of the 60 wire. By virtue of that, Mitchell's got 6 from 173 to get the first set done.
Yeah, it looked as though he was going to be under pressure, but he's the favourite now. Could do with a treble, though. That's 57. Not great. 57 from 173.
Could be enough. He was polishing off finishes like that last night, Scott Mitchell. But now, he's going to have to take it.
Well, 85 is not a bad leave for Wayne Warren. So Mitchell 116 for the opening set.
Great life for the 60.
Treble 20 to leave. He's got it to leave double 18 for 116. Just the 98. Wrong side of the wire. Can't be any closer.
When you require 85.
I really thought that was going. Wayne needs the 51 now, and he pulls both of those darts left of their targets. Mitchell 25. Has a choice here. He can split or he can go straight for the double 9. Straight for it.
Not a bad marker. This time, he takes it. Yes, the opening set. The Mitchell fans celebrate. And the big farmer is ahead. He leads 1 set to 0.
First leg, it is Scott to throw first.
Well, Wayne Warren has started somewhat edgily in this game. First set yesterday, he was touching 100 average most of the time. But you get the feeling with Scott Mitchell in this game, he's a little less relaxed than he was against Scott Waits.
Those figures telling you that Wayne Warren hasn't really turned up yet. An average of 75, which is pretty ordinary. Scott Mitchell on 88. This is more like it from Warren.
39.
Scott Mitchell doing what he needs to do. Keep Wayne quiet, which will also in turn keep his supporters quiet.
121.
Crowd urging one of these players to start peppering those treble 20s to get the opening 180 of the match.
140.
Oh yes.
Great crowd today.
Plenty of fancy dress. All with the signs and messages
47.
Supporting their favourites.
I've seen a cardboard cutout of Jackie Chan out there as well, which is a new one on me in a darts venue.
What's that about? Has he got a darting connection? Wasn't Paul Lim, was it? So it's definitely Jackie Chan.
Oh, it could have been Paul Lim. If it is Paul Lim, I'm totally on board with it. The man who hit the last 9 darter in this championship 30 years ago.
85.
A statistic which needs to be put away. Paul Hogan came so close to it. You saw there Scott Mitchell taking plenty of time getting away from the board. There's no rule about how 84. Long you can take.
Scott,
there isn't a clock on them. If you want to take your time, you take your time, and Scott Mitchell does. 127, treble 15 or treble 17 would have done. Bullseye now.
102.
Again, the line is good. This time he's just 78. Underneath, whereas last time he went for the ball, it was way high. So Wayne has tops.
38.
Plenty of room for it. And Mitchell
Scott, you
hold here
25.
after a minor scare.
Looking at the 9. Gets it for double 8. Double 4. T'other side. Yes, there it is. Hold a throw. Mitchell getting the start he wants on the second set. He was under pressure. Warren not taking his opportunity.
You mentioned yesterday about making the semi-finals. You're guaranteed a spot in next year's championship. And both of these guys will love that. It's a small thing though, because all they want to do this week is win the title. But thinking ahead for the next 12 months, they can start to plan a little bit easier, knowing that they will return.
Yeah, and plan to go wherever it is. The charm of the BDO World Championships has been there once again this year. I don't think too many people who've actually come down to the Indigo here at the O2 have been saying that too much was wrong. It's been a good atmosphere and we've seen some fine darts.
I think the best advertisement for this championship was the chat with Wayne and with Scott prior to this match. It had a lovely insight into what these players are really, really like.
60.
Not got up to anything like the levels of which these two men are capable so far.
Well, throughout this championship, Scott Mitchell's been tested
80.
with different types of players, and maybe what Scott is trying to do here is just keep things placid, not trying to feed Wayne Warren, who does tend to get pumped up.
Here it is, that's the first, and I would think the first of many.
161.
And is it going to be a big response? It's a possible checkout, not now though, so Scott Mitchell will come back needing 61 for the break of throw. That's a great last dart, but Mitchell now with a chance.
This will hurt if it goes. It's a beautiful 25. Just sneak it in through under that. Oh, he's done it.
That's going through on the
what a beautiful conversion from Scott Mitchell. And that will hurt Wayne, who was just starting to find his range a bit more.
The village boy on his tractor, as he describes himself, is going very nicely indeed.
It's beautiful to hear that, isn't it? Just how humble he is. At the end of the day, we're all just people, and we have a little bit of talent. And all we want is the opportunity to show it. Wayne's been playing for a very long time. Played with some of the Welsh greats, the likes of former finalist Richie Davies, Marshall James, who made the final in '97, Mark Webster, Martin Phillips. I could go on and on.
He's not, doesn't disguise the fact that he's got a few years under his belt, but he's very proud of the fact that he's fit as a flea and still throwing great darts.
Do you remember Richie Davies?
140.
Remember his nickname?
No, go on.
Lamb Chop. Very clever man on computers.
Why lamb chop? Was it down to his whiskers or something?
I actually never looked into it. I'm not sure that I wanted to.
Moving swiftly on. Again, Warren 45. Not finding the big numbers when he needs them, and Mitchell is cruising away here. One more leg and he's already 2 sets to 0 up.
Way too many times in this match so far, Mitchell has found that first start upper echelons of that 60, and he's starting to knit them together really nicely.
Maximum number 2. And there's only one man who's really performing at the moment.
95.
So 38. He might choose to split this.
38.
No, he's going straight at it, I think. Sign of a man who's confident. Well, he's split it now.
22.
And leaves double 8.
He doesn't mind a double 19. He hit one of those on a 158 checkout in the last set of his winning year.
He certainly did when he beat Wolfie in that brilliant
16.
final in 2015, which Scott took by 7 sets to 6. And there's the double he wants. And here it's 2-0. Moving on confidently. Will it be Super Mario or Jim Williams awaiting in the final?
You do still have the possibility of an all-Welsh final, of course, if Warren wins here and Jim Williams wins tonight. And that's never happened before. There have been all-Welsh games, but never an all-Welsh final.
100.
Those doubles not really telling a story at this stage. The message of the match really has been the fact that Mitchell has so heavily outscored Warren.
That's not usually the case. The strength of Warren's game is the scoring element.
Perhaps nervous, perhaps just taking time to settle.
I think at this point, John, we have to say that the quick turnaround of 15 hours between games for Mitchell is not a factor.
I honestly didn't think it would be, you know, because of his lifestyle, it's something that he's used to. You know, he'll be up at 6 o'clock every morning normally, as a farmer. You know, these guys put the hours in, and he still has a social life. So, you know, he's not going to bed at 8 o'clock every night.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Scott survives on 4 or 5 hours sleep a night.
Oh, there's a
13.
Not good darts again from Wayne Warren. As Mitchell, well, can he get a break in the opening leg of this third set? An interval at the end, of course, at the end of 3 sets. And if it's 3-0 Mitchell, you'd really wonder about whether or not Warren has the capability to haul himself back from that sort of a deficit.
Realistically, Scott Mitchell will not have thought about the scenario of being 3-0 up. He will have thought, okay, I want to get to 2-1, but 3-0 would be a huge bonus.
41.
That's a chance missed. Advantage in this leg, back with the Welshman.
That last dart was probably the worst one that Scott's thrown in this match so far. A little bit late on the release and a bit of shoulder came in. But he's not punished.
If he gets 140 here, he will be. No.
26.
It's catching.
When you require 108.
I think Scotty Dog's seen a fly. 107 still possible. Not anymore. Would have been 57 and ball. The only way you can get 107 with 2 darts. Mitchell
you require
has had a couple
146.
of visits to forget.
Treble 10 might be looking at here.
Yeah, traditionally it is.
Thinks. Oh, great dart.
110.
Fine dart.
When you
There are
require
1 or 2
68.
little fluttering critters up there on stage. Double 4. Oh, well done. That's more like it.
First leg, Wayne Warren. Second leg is Scott to
See,
throw
Wayne's
first.
actually got that
Game on.
front hand-on type of guide. It's like he's trying to show his palm to the board before he throws the dart. And when he releases it, it comes out. The point climbs to the sky and then corrects
41.
itself. The dart, when it hits the board, it's very flight upright, as you can see.
Scott Mitchell has just gone off the boil at the moment, and that's enabling Wayne Warren to come back with his opening maximum there of the match. That brings the match tally to 3.
Maybe this match is just starting to heat up a little bit. And there you go.
Great response. That's more like it, Scotty.
It's a shame that there's a break at the end of this set because
100.
both guys are starting to feel it now.
.180 with the last visit. Backing it up with a ton.
100.
Not on a finish yet, but with his nose ahead, Scott Mitchell.
He's got to be crafty here from 221 Wayne. And he really, after that first dart, should have switched to 19s because he blocked all of that 60 bed.
That's not in the treble 20. That is. Oh, good darts.
135.
Nice setup.
Wayne needs to find the single, needs to stay away from those flights. Great single.
Yeah, good dart.
Scott, you require 45.
So 45. Oh, that's in the double, so 35 now. 3 double 16. Just one dart at a double. Only one needed.
That's game shot on the second
One
leg.
apiece.
Exhibition stuff from Scotty Dog.
Third leg is Wayne to throw first.
That's the kind of thing you want to do in an exhibition. Just show that you can hit whatever you go for. But I assure you, he was not going for that. He was expecting 2 darts at tops.
100.
Only needing 1 at 16s in the end. Doesn't matter, he's got the leg. Well, after taking the first 2 sets, Scott Mitchell desperately craves to be 3-0 up at the break, and that will be 2 sets in the bank with breaks in the set.
Well, it's a possibility.
100.
Certainly a worst case scenario for Wayne Warren. Another ton 40 here, and he'll be sitting pretty, Scott Mitchell. Well, it's just the wrong side of the wire, and it's a blocker.
60.
Like one of those cards there, don't tell the warden I'm here.
85.
Well, a good day out, wherever they're from.
And they're very accessible, Indigo, here at the O2, just next to North Greenwich Tube Station.
45.
There's Nick Kenny in the crowd there supporting Wayne Warren, his countryman. He was
60.
eliminated earlier in the tournament by Denny Alder-Coulter.
Plenty down here from Wales. They've come up from Dorset and the neutrals as well. Be a boisterous atmosphere as the day
100.
unfolds.
When you require 156.
156, both of them.
Only one way to get this. Only just shy of getting that second treble, but he gets it to Leo and forces Mitchell to take that exact shot.
Scott, you require 156.
Well, he needs this now, Scott, for the break. Can't see Wayne Warren missing double 8. Another one of those. Yes, double 18. Oh, just the wrong side of the wire.
I thought that was going out.
Wayne, you require
Such
16.
a good try. Wayne Warren has been warned.
Yeah,
Warning heeded.
on the third leg, Wayne Warren. Fourth leg is Scott to throw first.
Put Scott under some pressure with that. Put Warren under pressure with going so close, but Wayne responded well. I hope he is starting to
100.
feel more comfortable and find a way to do himself justice in this match.
A few of my friends were getting in touch with me yesterday calling Wayne Warren the Welsh Steve Beaton because of his tan and his longevity in the game. I think that's quite the compliment.
I think Wayne would take that.
Great accent, isn't it, the Ronda?
140.
I've got lots of friends from that area and just sit and listen to them all day.
He's one of these guys who's outdoors most of his life. Hence the constant bronzed look. If I were outdoor most of my life, I'd look like a tomato. That pale skin certainly doesn't afflict Wayne Warren.
He's looking at the red bit now.
140.
He's up short, but this set looks like it's going to go to the wire.
121 to square it up. Good dart.
Hitting the tops.
81.
Yep, good layup. Got himself the bullseye to leave 71. Just shy on that treble 13, but to come back and have 3 clean darts at tops to take the set all the
60.
way, he will accept that.
Scott, you require
So tops.
40. Yes, that's
Good darts, 2-all, so it goes down to the decider.
Fifth leg is Wayne to throw first.
Well, it's early, John, but is this a must-win leg for Wayne Warren?
Well, it's not quite as dramatic as that, but as I said earlier, if he goes in 3-0 down, that's a great start, by the way. If he goes in 3-0 down, then it's going to look massively odds on Mitchell.
Could depend on what Mitchell hits here.
60.
Only 60, and Warren is in a good position.
Few Farmy Army chants going up from the Mitchell faithful.
I really hope that thing catches on.
It is doing.
I know that Raymond van Barneveld is retired. We'll let Scott Mitchell have the Farmy Army chant wherever he goes.
100.
Bad visit last time out for Wayne Warren. And another poor visit. And surely Scott Mitchell's thinking, he doesn't want this. I can take this away from him. But he's not doing so. 60 to get somewhat level.
43.
This is an edgy leg.
Very much so. They both realise the significance of it. Oh, this is just what Wayne needed. This is what he can do. Oh, that's unlucky. That is so unlucky. Doesn't count. 120 scored on a finish, but 104 would have been better.
It's probably good that the last point was not touching the sisal of the board in the small one, because if it was, he wouldn't be on a finish. Now he is.
45. Wayne, you require
164 plays 253. Advantage Wayne.
A lot of people would have stayed on the 60 there with that lie, because Scott's not on a finish.
Well, maybe it would have been better that way, but that's a great leave. 26 required, and nothing Scott can do about it.
Well, Wayne had a couple of miscounts yesterday, and I'm sure he hasn't left 26 on purpose. I think he might have had a little think to himself as if to say, wow, I didn't mean to do that. But
here we go, and there it is.
That's going on the third set.
A shake of the head, as much as to say, what am I doing? I can play this game. I'll show you. I'll be back, and he will be back, but he's 2-1 down as we go to the interval. Scott Mitchell has the lead.